I don't even need to say anything. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. As y'all checking in, y'all know what to do. Shout yourself out in the comments section. Instagram, I don't know what they're doing with this app. They messed it up. It was working. It was fine how it was. They changed it up. They messed it up. But as y'all checking in, either way, we still gonna get the job done. We got to do what we got to do. As y'all checking in on this, it's a beautiful day in South Florida. It's about 80, 82 degrees. It's been overcast all day. It's been overcast for like the last week straight. It's rainy season right now in South Florida. But that's all right. We appreciate the rain because the grass got to grow. The trees got to grow. The trees provide oxygen. Without the trees, we all suffocate to death. So we gotta respect the rain. There's a rain system moving in. I'm watching the rain come in right now. So it's gonna rain right within the next 10 minutes of me talking. But as y'all checking in, that's neither here nor there. Shout yourselves out in the comments section. Let's get into it. Periscope, you watching this on Periscope, shout yourself out. Facebook, if you are on Facebook, you can leave a comment now, later. Leave a comment now so I know who you are. And we got Instagram is the other one that we on. Instagram here, Facebook here, Periscope there. M Rose 974 said it's raining there too. Checking in from Boston. So shout out to everywhere that is raining. Shout out to Boston. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete. I'm author of 27 of these publications, including this book, Work on Your Game, and including this book right here called The Mirror of Motivation. At the end of this live stream, I'm going to tell you how you can get this book, physical book, mailed to your doorstep completely for free. I sent my mom a book for free today too. Not this book. I sent her a different book that I think she'd be interested in for free. So I'm expecting to hear from her today when she gets that package, unless somebody stole it from the front of their house. So, but anyway, I'm gonna tell you how you can get this book for free before the end of this live here today. And anyway, this whole philosophy that I created called Work on Your Game is all about taking the mentality of the professional athlete, the person who's that top 1% of what they do, and how to take those same mental tools and apply those to your business and apply those to your life. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in getting to the top 1% of what you do, first of all, starting with your mental approach, then taking it to the tangible results. Listen, we got something that we are about to release. We might even be releasing it this week. I'm looking at the date just to see. It's Tuesday. We might have this out by the end of this week. It is guaranteed coming out before the end of this month. So that's either this week or next week, guaranteed. So it's going to be this book still. This book ain't going away. But then we're going to have the next thing for you to do, the next thing for you to get into, because sometimes people ask me, all right, I got the book, Dre, what do I do next? Do I just read your books? What else do you got? Do you have another level? Yes, we have another level, okay? Yes, there is another level. It is coming out maybe this week. At the latest, it's coming out next week. Guaranteed. I'm going to tell you about that later. But again, this whole Work on Your Game philosophy, I created that. Written 27 books, done 4 TED Talks. Let's get into what today's topic is, because today's topic is 5 things to never, ever waste time on. 5 things that successful people don't waste time on. Now, people who fail in life, they waste time on these 5 things that I'm going to point out. But people who succeed in life never, ever waste time on these things that I'm about to point out. So, by deductive reasoning, I'm hoping all you understand, if you plan on being a success in life, or you are already a success, because success is something that you do consistently. It's not you achieve, it's not you get a car or you get a house or you made this much money that means you're a success. No, success is what you are doing consistently. So if you plan on being and remaining a successful person, these are 5 things you should never, ever waste your time on. I'm going to tell you what they are, and I'm going to explain it. I'm going to tell you how people make mistakes with this, and maybe what adjustments you might need to make given your certain situation. Number 1 thing that you should never waste time on if you plan on being a success in life is the affairs of other people. In other words, other people's problems. Having your nose in other people's shit is not your business. It is not your business wondering what other people have going on, what somebody else is doing, paying attention to what somebody else is trying to get done if it ain't got nothing to do with you. Now, I understand some people may ask, well, Dre, what about helping other people out? What about doing something to help the community, or giving back to other people? That's not the same thing. Okay, when I say the affairs of other people, what I mean is somebody else got this agenda for their life, and you, for whatever reason, you end up being enrolled in what they're trying to get done for themselves. It has nothing to do with you. It is not your business. It is not your responsibility. But somehow, some way, you find yourself dedicating your most valuable resource, which is your time, to another person's success, to another person's progress. Yet you haven't put enough time into your own success and your own progress. All right, this is a recipe for failure. People fail in life when you find yourself paying too much attention to other people and not enough attention to yourself. Let me give you a prime example. Social media. All of you got smartphones. Look at the app on your smartphone that tells you how much time you spend on each app. If you don't have one of those apps, install one on your phone so that app can keep it real with you, because that app just tells you straight up facts. You know how human beings like to say facts? Most of the time when human beings say facts, they're really saying opinions, but they call it a fact. All right, your phone is a computer. Computers only tell facts. Our computers don't give opinions. Okay, your phone will tell you exactly how much time you spend every day on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and only you know what you're doing when you're on those apps. Now, when you're watching me on a live, I'm actually giving you some food that's going to make you better. But how many people on your social media app, whichever app you're watching me on right now, are actually giving you something that makes you smarter, more valuable, and a more productive, useful member of society? Most of the material on social media is not doing that for you. Most of the material on social media is time wasting, time consuming. It's just something to let your mind take a little quick vacation, right? It's a little like back in the days. I mean, people still do this now, but back in the day when smoking was more prevalent, people would take cigarette breaks. Right? You'd be at work, you get 15 minutes, go outside, stand outside, smoke a cigarette. People still do that, but smoking is becoming a little bit less popular than it used to be. Nowadays, instead of cigarette breaks, now you got Facebook breaks. Now you got Instagram breaks. Now you got Twitter breaks. The difference between the cigarette break and the Instagram break, though, is that usually somebody can smoke one cigarette and go back to work. You get on Instagram, you might go on there to look at one thing, and before you know it, 45 minutes have gone by, and you never even looked at that thing, and you're looking at a whole bunch of other things. It is a time consumer. Wasting your time on the affairs of others. Social media, what are you seeing? You're seeing everybody else telling you what they're doing in their life. Maybe they're telling the truth. Half the time they're lying. Maybe even more, half the time they're lying about what they're doing in their life. But you're paying attention to it, and what is it doing for you? Usually nothing. Any of you been on a plane before? You know, before the plane takes off and the flight attendant standing in the middle of the aisle and they're doing a little demonstration for safety precautions that maybe you pay attention to, maybe you ignore them. Most of us ignore them. I wonder how they feel when they're doing that and nobody's paying attention. But anyway, they said if the air pressure in the cabin were to drop, these masks will come down from the ceiling. Now, I don't know. Is anything changed about the mask now that since we already got a mask on, do we still got to put the oxygen mask on? I don't know if they really explained that. I was on a plane. I've been on a couple planes since COVID, and I haven't had none of the flight attendants really explain, or do you take your other mask off and then put that one on or put it on top? But anyway, somebody else can help me out with that at a different time. But when the flight attendant is doing that demonstration, what do they say? They say when the mask comes down, put your mask on first, and then you help your kid, then you help grandpa, then you help the disabled person in the aisle across from you. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, then you will not be capable of taking care of another person. I mean, if you're suffocating from a lack of oxygen, how can you help your child? You can't. How can you help the other person you got there with? You can't. How you gonna help anybody else and be a good Samaritan? You can't. So until you take care of your own home and you get your own shit together, you don't need to be focusing on what anybody else is doing. Successful people understand this, and this is why it's something that I say all the time. I do not pay attention to what other people are doing. I use social media. I have Facebook, I got Twitter, I got Instagram. I don't scroll through any of these platforms. So if I follow you on any of these platforms, you will never see me. Most of the time, I won't be liking none of your pictures. I will not comment on anything that you posted. I do not look at your story. Why? Not because I don't like you, not because there's anything wrong with you, it's because I'm not focused on what other people are doing. I focus on what I need to do. And I got enough things that I need to do for me that I ain't got no time to dedicate to what you got going on. All right. And you need to adopt that same mindset about yourself. The only people you should be paying attention to are those who are giving you something that will make you more valuable and more capable of taking care of yourself. Now, somebody can give you something to help you. Now you can listen to them. Now go watch them. Now go read what they said. But people just talking about themselves and their lives and whatever they want you to think about them, fuck all that. It's not helping you get to where you want to go. Stop wasting your time on it. Time is the most valuable resource you have. I told you on episode number 609 of the Work on Your Game show. You have 5 resources in life: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. Time is the most valuable one because it cannot be renewed. You lose it, it's over. Point number 2. Today we're talking 5 things successful people never pay attention to or never waste time on. Number 2, things which you cannot control. What is the Serenity prayer? I'm not a Christian, but I know the Serenity prayer. They say, I know it from listening to 50 Cent's album. He said it. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. What does that mean? There are things in life that you can't do anything about. It's raining. It's a rainy day right now in Miami. It's overcast. It's cloudy. We have not actually seen the sun all the way out in like 4 days. even though it's like 80 degrees. I can't do anything about that. I can't force the clouds to move out the way. I can't make the sun come out. I can't force the rain to stop. So I'm not going to try to do anything about that. I'm not wasting time on that. I'm accepting that as it is, and I'm making my adjustments to my life based on the fact that it's raining outside. And what are the things that I can change? I can change, maybe I might change my wardrobe because it's raining outside. I might wear something a little bit different. I might carry an umbrella. I might not, instead of walking to the store, I might drive to the store. I might order them to bring it to me instead of me walking and going to get it because I know it's raining outside. So I make my adjustments to the things I can adjust, and then I leave alone the things that I can't adjust. In life, there are certain people who are going to love what you do. They're going to love your stuff. They're going to engage with everything that you do. And there are other people who are not going to like it, and they're not going to be bought in, and they're not going to care about what you got going on. Are you going to try to force the people who don't care to start caring? No, that wouldn't make any sense. I mean, hopefully you don't do that. All right, that's a bad strategy. Your strategy should be to focus on the people who do care and give them so much, over-deliver to them, that they bring the other people in for you. In life, do not focus on things which you cannot control. It is a waste of resources. It's a waste of, again, your most valuable resource being time. And the Serenity Prayer tells you, accept the things that you cannot change. There are a lot of things in life you can't change. 99% of life is out of your control. The 1% that is within your control, that's all you should be focused on. This should help you get focused because you only can control 1% of life. You shouldn't have that much problem deciding what it is and doing something about it. Successful people understand this in their bones. They don't even have to be told. Point number 3, we're talking 5 things to never waste time on. Never waste time on past outcomes. Dwelling on things that have already occurred, that are already over, which you cannot change. As far as I know, except for the movie Back to the Future, that's the only place I've ever seen it. There's no other place in life where a human being, a mere mortal, can change history. We cannot change what happened in the past. If you had a bad football game 3 weeks ago, you can't do anything about that game from 3 weeks ago. The only thing you can focus on the game today and the game you got coming up in the future. If you had a bad experience, a bad relationship, something bad happened to you, somebody did something wrong to you, somebody crossed you, somebody didn't come through when they were supposed to, yeah, you can be pissed off about it. You can remember it. You can make sure you don't repeat that mistake, but you cannot undo history. All right, does everybody understand that? Is anybody here capable of undoing the past? I don't think so. All right, the past is the past. It is over. It happened. As world-renowned, famous motivational speaker, he's passed away now. His name was Zig Ziglar. He was famous for saying, yesterday ended last night. Yesterday is over. Okay, last night when you went to sleep, you woke up this morning, it was a new day. Yesterday was over. Stop reliving the past. A lot of people spend their whole lives reliving the past, and I don't always mean negative past. Some people relive the past as something bad that happened to them, and they are still dwelling on that negative thing, and they never move into the present or the future. But also there are people out there who do something successful in their past, and they spend their whole lives living out that past success, that thing that already happened. And because they're so focused on the past success, they never focus on creating current success or future success. So they never actually do anything else in life. Know anybody like that? They achieved something great 5 years ago, and here we are 5 years later, they're still talking about that. That's the only thing they've done. And you looking at them like, yo, have you done anything since then? They haven't done anything because they're dwelling on the past. Successful people never dwell on the past. They are always focused on 2 things. Number 1, 80% of their time is on what they can do right now today, because the present is the only time you actually have, and 20% of their time, maybe less, on what you can do in the future, because the future is not guaranteed, but the future is going to, if anything's going to happen in the future, it'll be the future. You cannot go back in the past. It's impossible. So 0% of their time is spent on the past. The only time we ever even think of the past is maybe we can learn something from what happened back then, but not so we can relive what happened back then and make ourselves feel bad or make ourselves feel good about what happened back in the day. Even if your past was amazing, understand that every single day that past gets older. All right. Any of you ever won a trophy for playing a sport, or you had some accomplishment, you got a certificate or a medal or something like that, a plaque? What happens to that medal or that plaque or that trophy every single day when it's sitting on your shelf at home? It collects dust. All right. Every day it's collecting more and more dust. Every day is getting older and older. Every year it gets older and older to the point that nobody cares. All right? People might still be happy for you winning that trophy a week after you won the trophy, but 2 years, 3 years, 10 years after the trophy, nobody gives a damn for the most part. And you need to stop giving a damn. Doesn't mean you can't be proud of yourself. You can use that as a reminder of your success, but don't dwell on it as if you don't need to do anything else in the present. All right? Everybody's heard the statement, "What have you done for me lately?" Right? People don't care about the past. As soon as it ends, it's over. One of the Chicago Bulls assistant coaches, a guy by the name of Tex Winter, he's the guy who introduced the triangle offense to the NBA. He said, as soon as you start celebrating your achievement, your success is over. All right, if you play in the NBA and you win the championship, as soon as you hold up the trophy, all right, you are done being a success because now you've achieved it. The goal is achieved. You got the trophy. Now you got to start all over again and do it again. All right, that achievement is over. Now every team you beat, now they're getting ready to beat you the next time around. The success ends as soon as you start celebrating it. It's time for you to focus on the present and then the future. Point, only losers focus on the unchangeable past. Point number 4, we're talking 5 things to never waste time on. Things that do not serve your main purpose. So in order for you to even know what serves your main purpose or not, you must have a main purpose. What is your main purpose in life? What do you actually want to achieve? You might have a short-term main purpose, like, okay, today, this is the one thing that I want to get done. You know, this year, I want to make sure I write this book. Or today, I want to make sure I drink 8 glasses of water. Or, you know, before the end of this year, I want to make sure, you know, I spend some more time with my kids. Or in the next 10 years, before I graduate from college or something, I want to make sure I get my GPA up to a 3.5. Whatever it is you want, there needs to be a main chief aim to your life. And the short term and the long term. The day, the month, the year, the season, whatever it is you happen to have going on, you need a definite aim. And here's why you need a definite aim. Because in life, you're going to have options. There are many things you could be doing right now, many things you could be doing every day. You could be on the phone. You could be messing around on smartphone apps. You could be checking your email. You could be talking to somebody. You could be taking a walk in the park. You could be at the gym. You could go to the mall. There's a lot of different things you could be doing. So how do you decide which one to do? Here's how you decide. Ask yourself what your definite chief outcome is for right now or the future, short term or long term. Then ask yourself, of all the things I could be doing right now, which one is going to get me closest to my definite outcome? That's how you know what to do right now. So if you got 10 different things you could be doing today, ask yourself, okay, what would make today a success? And of these 10 things on this list, which one of these will get me closest to making that happen? That's the thing you should be doing right now. And when that's done, then you can do the second ranked thing. Then you can do the third thing, the fourth thing, until you run out of time, till the day is over, and then maybe the rest you might not do at all, maybe move into the next day. But you must have a definite chief aim in order to know what serves your main purpose, okay? Successful people always look at everything that they do and ask themselves, how is doing this going to help me get to my outcome? Does this help me get to my outcome? And if they can't come up with an answer, then they don't do it. They just cancel it. They say, all right, this is not going to help me get to where I want to go, so why would I do this? Then they cancel it. They don't do it. They go find something else to do. Or they go rejigger their whole strategy to make it make sense. All right, every task is held up against the aim, and if it doesn't fit towards the achievement of the aim, it is not done, it is eliminated. Unsuccessful people, you know what they do? They have no main focus. People become unsuccessful not because they are lazy, not because they're stupid, not because there's anything wrong with them. It's because they don't have a main focus. So even though they might be working really hard, they might be grinding, they might be sweating, they're always working, yet they aren't creating any success. You know why? Because they do not have a definite outcome that they're looking to achieve. So despite all of their work, it's not leading to anything concrete because they have no idea where they're going. So you could be doing 20 different things over the course of a day and feel like you're grinding, hustling hard, but you can't point to where this is actually taking you because everything is disjointed. Nothing is connected to each other. You must have a strategy for achieving your outcomes. Every goal, every score requires a goal, right? You can't make a shot in basketball if you don't have a rim to shoot at. If we took all the rims off a basketball court, you couldn't have a basketball game. All right, you got 100 people there. You got to have all the basketballs in the gym. If there's no rim on the backboard, then you can't play basketball because there's no goal. You can't play soccer if there's no net. All right, whatever sport you want to play, there got to be something. You can't bowl if there are no pins to knock down. So you must have a goal to score through. Point number 5, topic here today are 5 things to never waste time on. Never waste time on things for which you are not suited. Now, this is one that you got to think a little bit about. Not everybody has the same skills. Not everyone has the same talents. Not everyone has the same opportunities in life. And what this means is you need to mind yourself. You need to dig deep into yourself and ask yourself and really find out, what are my best skills? What am I actually really good at? What do I bring to the table? What do I do better than most people? Where do I have an advantage over the masses of other people because I'm really skilled, talented, experienced, knowledgeable in this certain space? And whatever your answers are, it may be more than one thing, that's where you need to focus your energies. Do not try to force yourself to be something that you are not. Do not try to force a square peg into a round hole, as they said. For example, some of you probably don't even know, but when I first came on the internet, over 15 years ago, the main thing I was doing was posting basketball videos. I used to play basketball overseas, so I was posting basketball videos every day on YouTube before YouTube was YouTube. And of course, there were a ton of basketball players who were following my stuff, not because I was necessarily so great, but because there was nobody else doing it. I basically invented the genre. So there's all these basketball players who would say things like, yo, I'm going to play college, I'm going to play D1, I'm going to go to the NBA, I'm going to get drafted, I'm going to play overseas and all this. But there was way too many players saying that for the number of jobs there were in the basketball world. And eventually over the years, and a lot of these players I hear from to this day, they say, yo, I used to follow your stuff every day when I thought I was going to the NBA, but I realized that I wasn't going to be a basketball player. But now, I got my own IT firm, or I work at this company, or I'm in school right now, or I'm doing this, something outside of basketball, because they realized that that wasn't going to be their main thing. Doesn't mean they made a mistake, because sometimes in life you don't know exactly who you are until you try some things out. But once you figure out what you are and the things that you do best, that's where you need to focus your energies. And successful people do this at a very, very high level, and that's how they become so great. Warren Buffett is great at what? Investing. I never met Warren Buffett, but I know he's great at investing because that's all he focuses on. When you hear his name, usually somebody's going to tell you something about investing. Warren Buffett is not going to put out a fitness DVD because Warren Buffett, that's not his thing. His thing is investing. Bill Gates, what does he focus on? He focused on computers, and now he's focusing on solving the problems of like poverty and making sure people have water. That's what his focus. He decided he wanted to focus on that thing, then he got that done, then he moved on to this thing. So it doesn't have to be one thing for your whole life, but you need a main focus so that you can really get focused on that thing. I'll give you another example, Drake, the rapper. Does Drake make beats? Last I checked, no, he does not make beats. But are there beats on his songs? Yes. So who makes the beats? Somebody else. Drake finds somebody else to make the beats. He finds somebody else to mix the records. Does Drake go to the music stores and make sure his CDs are on the shelf? Does he go into Apple Music and make sure that they upload his album? No, he probably doesn't do any of that. What does Drake do? He writes down the lyrics. He does the singing. He does the rapping. He performs the shows. That's what Drake does. Who does everything else? Who does the lighting for his concerts? Who makes sure his shows are booked and that he has flights to get to where he got to get to and books the hotel rooms? Who mixes the records? Who produces the songs? Who does the photo shoot for his album covers? He doesn't do any of that. All he does is show up and perform and do what he does best, and then he has other people on his team who do everything else to make sure things work. Look at LeBron James. If we go to the basketball world, does LeBron James mop the floors at the Staples Center for the games? No. Does LeBron James wash the uniforms? No. Does LeBron James make his own meals? Probably not. Now, he has people who do all those things because they're great at it. He has a chef who's great at food. He has a trainer who's great at training. He probably has a masseuse who's great at massaging and body recovery. He has a manager who makes sure that all his stuff is where it's supposed to be. He has different people in place who do those things great, and he does what he does great. What does he do? He gets on that basketball court and he does his thing on that floor. And that's why he became great at that, because he focuses on that. And Bill Gates focuses on his thing. And it's not about famous people. I'm just using them as an example. You don't have to be famous to do this. People who are great at what they do get to become great because they are focused on the thing that they're great at, and not because they're trying to do 20 other things along with the thing that they're great at. If you know what you're great at, every minute you spend doing something other than that, you are taking away from your main skill. You're basically costing yourself money. If Drake is great at rapping, that's what he makes his most money at. Rapping and singing and just being on the mic, right? That's where he makes all his money, right? So if he spends any time not doing that, that means he is not making the most of his abilities. Therefore, he's costing himself money, at least work time. Now, I understand you got to go to sleep and you got to eat and go to the gym and take care of your family. I'm talking about when he's working. If he's trying to make beats instead of actually singing, then he's costing himself money, because he makes more money singing than he makes making beats. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to know, what is the thing that makes me the most? What is the thing that produces the highest ROI for me based on my time? And how much time am I actually spending doing it? You need to be able to answer that question. If you don't answer that question, or you can't answer it, or you do answer it, but you're not actually living by the answer, then you are costing yourself money and you're costing yourself opportunity every day. The most successful people in the world focus on what they do best, and they structure their lives so that they are spending all their time doing that, or at least as much time as possible. Even if it's just you right now, you might say, all right, I got to do everything right now, but I know I'm best at this right here. So then when you finally can hire somebody, you let them take on some of the things you don't need to be doing. Then you get somebody else. Then you get someone else. And you keep narrowing down your life until you get to where you're focused on the main things that produce the highest ROI. All that said, let me tell you how you can get this book free. I'm going to recap my points and I'm going to take questions. This right here is called The Mirror of Motivation, Self-Guided, Self-Discipline. It's the first book of mine that you should read. I've written 27. You should read this one first. You can get it for free. Physical book. by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. The title of the book without the word the. Mirrorofmotivation.com. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. The book is paid for. I'll ship this to you worldwide, anywhere you live. Let me tell you why you want it. Everybody who's listening to me, you have goals in life, and I'm assuming that you're willing to do the work. All right, assuming that we got those checked. You have goals, check. You want to do the work, check. Question is, have you ever asked yourself, who do I need to be? What type of person do I need to be in life in order to reach my goals? This book will help you answer that question. And what I mean by that question is, what kind of energy do I need to have? How do I need to show up in life? How do I want people to feel when they come across me? What do I want people to think about me when I'm not in the room? What do I want to see when I look in the mirror? Answering those questions answers the question, who do I need to be? When you answer that question with the frameworks in this book, the actions that you take will change and the results that you get will change. So if you're ready for that kind of change, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Tell us where to ship this book. Take care of a small shipping charge. We ship this worldwide, anywhere you live. Again, mirrorofmotivation.com. While you're there, you got an option to get the 4-book bulletproof bundle. On the next page, we'll make your offer to get this book, Work on Your Game, 250 pages, my whole philosophy condensed down to 250 pages, plus my book called The Mental Workbook, which is the workbook to help you implement the frameworks in this book. All that said, 5 things that successful people never waste time on. Number 1, the affairs of other people. Do not be wasting your time on other people's business. It ain't your business. Mind your business. Number 2, things which you cannot control. Learn the Serenity prayer, accept the things you can't change, have the courage to change the things that you can, and don't worry about anything else. Number 3, dwelling on past outcomes. Yesterday ended last night. Whether your past was terrible, whether your past was amazing, is over either way. Focus on the present and the future. Those are the only things you can do anything about. Number 4, things that do not serve your main purpose. First of all, you need to know what your main purpose is. Once you do know, focus on that and only that. And anything that you do, you must be able to understand how doing that is helping you reach your main purpose. And number 5, tasks for which you are not suited. Know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, and focus on the things you're actually good at. That's where you'll make the most money. That's where you get the highest return on investment. That's where you provide the most value to the world. All that said, if anybody has a question, I will address them now. I don't think we got any questions we get no questions on IG. On Facebook, Art says, give me money for tuition in college. Thank you in advance. All right, I'll give you this book for free. All you do is cover the shipping. You read this book, you answer the question, who do I need to be with these frameworks, and you'll be able to make enough money to pay for your own tuition. So that's how it works, Art. So all that being said, nobody else had a question. So I guess we were clean, perfect here today. I'm going to go live again tomorrow. Don't know what the topic is. Just stay tuned. You'll find out. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book's paid for. You cover the shipping. Work on your game. Be out of here. Dre all day.